Hi, this is Evgenia, and today we're covering the main schools of psychology. So, why even decided to cover this topic? Well, of course, first is the way we understand ourselves completely defines the way we interpret the world around us and how we communicate with the world. The idea of know yourself first, know thyself first, come from the Asian philosopher Socrates, and it was a basement for development of multiple sciences we know and use nowadays. So, I believe that the dynamics of the thought, of the way how psychology we're developing throughout the centuries, it actually can bring more insights to you, basically to understand yourself first, and probably can clarify some ideas of psychology, or probably brings you some helpful tips how to deal with some mental struggles on a daily basis. The most Asian old school psychology, structuralism. Why it's the oldest one? Well, because it considers only the basic stimulus, and it studies how our brain mind deals with the stimulus. And the idea of interoception, the idea of self-awareness, the idea of how we interpret and understand things, comes from structuralism. This school didn't survive. There were lots of people who didn't like the idea of structuralism. Why? Because it doesn't see the world in dynamic. Because our mind is very, it's a dynamic thing, and the way how we perceive and understand things in the morning can be very different from the way we perceive and understand things by the end of the day. So another school, more programmatic one, functionalism, comes into play. The school was inspired by Darwin's work, and it takes in consideration how human mind deals with the daily activities, how human mind understanding of things changes through the lifespan. It's a very interesting concept and more programmatic one, but again, it's just second way of thinking, we know, and it doesn't cover lots of concepts of the human mind. So after functionalism, another school was developed, and this school is actually Gestalt. Why Gestalt is so interesting? Well, because it brought to the world a concept that very often the way we see world is actually only perception and only illusion. And this perception and illusion is basically a sum up of multiple different stimulus, and different mind can see big picture in a different ways. So the Gestalt theory, it takes into consideration a big picture, not just details, not just stimulus. And the idea of perception, the idea of illusion of the mind, it actually comes from the Gestalt theory. This school, another school that comes after Gestalt theory, is actually the most fascinating one, because after the world understood that very often our perceptions and our illusions of the world is very, very different from the actual world in details, let's put it this way. Another school of psychology actually was logical outcomes of the previously developed concept. And another, so the more modern school of psychology actually is psychoanalysis. What is psychoanalysis? So psychoanalysis takes into consideration unconscious mind, and it works with unconscious mind. How psychoanalysis works and how the therapy based on psychoanalysis works. So usually therapists will ask you about your dreams, about your illusions, about your fantasies, and based on it, therapist can discover something in your mental state, something in terms of your cognitive processes that you're probably not paying attention, or you should not get covered by other therapists. And by understanding your unconscious mind, the way you dream, the way you put unconsciously things together, is actually can help dramatically with the multiple, let's put this way, mental health related disorders. But the entire idea that psychoanalysis was developed that time is very, I believe, fascinating and unique, because before nobody were actually even paying attention to the unconscious mind. And the biggest mind of the psychoanalysis actually is Sigmund Freud, and we know that the way he interpreted and the idea how he interpreted and how he his let's put this way, perspective on the therapy and the way how he worked with his patients is actually absolutely unique, is fascinating. Another school of psychology was logical absolute consequences of the previous one. And I'm talking about behaviorism. Why behaviorism got so popular, especially after psychoanalysis? Well, because when you're working with unconscious mind, you cannot measure a lots of things. You cannot. It's very hard to deal with the dreams, with the people think, and it's very hard to measure it. So behaviorism brought very solid tools. It basically takes into consideration humankind behavior. So they understood that the way how we can measure and understand how therapy works, how certain medications work, or how actually people think. Behaviors is something we can measure, and that can bring certain insights, and we really have to pay attention to it. So behaviorism was really, really big, and it's very big still nowadays, especially in the digital world, because in digital world behavior is basically the main thing you can actually measure, qualified, especially you're not dealing with the people, with humans in person. So after behaviorism, another very big school of psychology that I have to mention is actually humanism. Humanism, it's a school that understands human mind, humankind, from the perspective, from the social, I would say, perspective, that help humanity find the best way of living in the social settings, and how humankind can maximize and explore its own potential. After humanism, another school of psychology that I believe have to be mentioned, it's actually cognitivism. Why cognitivism came so late? Okay, it's almost, the latest, the youngest school of psychology. Well, because it works with cognitive processes. And lots of things, humanity able to understand only via tools that have been developed only recently. I'm talking about, MRI, I'm talking about scientifically developed instruments and tools that help to understand a human mind better. Without those tools, the idea of cognitivism doesn't make any sense. Okay, so cognitivism is the youngest school of psychology, and cognitivism learns about the way humans interact, study, learn, work, etc. So it studies cognitive process from the perspective of neuroscience, from the perspective of psychology as well. So it's the most modern school of psychology. So why I believe that this video can be actually helpful? Well, because as you can see, school of psychology is not something solid. It's not something that it was developed, multiple years ago, and now it's the way we, see things. No, schools of psychology have been developing through the centuries, okay, and they were basically results of the current scientific development, of the current political, social development. And it's very important to know that psychology is any other sciences is basically one of the way we interpret world, one of the way we're dealing with the world around us, and it very depends on the current situation. So I would like to finish this video with the idea that everything we have in this world, we have to see in the dynamic and to be open to the innovations and things. And always, I believe the new ways of psychology definitely will develop because we currently have more developed technology, more technological tools comes to play, and maybe we will not just discover something new about human mind, but the way we interpret our feelings, our understanding of the world around us, and our thoughts will change as well.